Today on Singles Court,
What's going on?
Shania's got a grade A beef. She says Bert's behavior is slaughtering her career.
I have been pulled off sales, okay?
Yeah.
I've been put on desk work.
He claims he's just a rib tickler.
Well, I just make a joke about the ribs, about where they came from, or just a little joke. It's only a joke.
And Jonathan wanted Bethany to meet the family.
As soon as we pull up into the driveway, for no reason, and all of a sudden, she just gets out, freaks out, and leaves.
But she minded that idea big
I
time.
realized I wasn't ready for that. It was just too much. What'd you do? Too much.
She wasn't, excuse me, sorry, you weren't ready for that? Why couldn't you bring that up before?
Well, I tried, but
Hi, I'm David Knight. Welcome to Singles Court, the #1 show here on the Singles Broadcast Network. This is the place where singles come for help with all their messy relationship problems. And here's the woman who wants to straighten things out. She's an author. She's a lecturer. She's nationally syndicated relationship expert, Angela Siegel.
Wow, David.
I'm trying to get up to the boxing promoter kind of level. You know?
I'm liking that because, you know, it's sometimes like boxing. Sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, like the referee. I understand that. You know, I had a really, really good time last night.
Did you?
I was doing the single mix-up thing, and it really worked.
A single mix-up?
In the mall.
Really?
Where's a better place to meet somebody than the mall?
No, I think grocery store possibly, but the mall is...
The mall's better. Because,
Okay.
see, you can get him to buy you something before you leave. Okay.
That's an excellent idea.
Groceries don't cut it.
Okay, so, well, today, Angela, we have Shania. Now, Shania has recently become a real estate agent. And Bert here, Bert works on the kill floor of a slaughterhouse. Yeah, believe it or not. Now, Shania claims that rising to the top of her profession, it requires to be on the social scene a little bit. Now, whenever she takes Bert out, Bert makes jokes about the slaughterhouse. And people are eating around him, and he still makes jokes about the slaughterhouse. Now, I call this the case of blood, guts, and real estate.
Well, Shania, it sounds like you have a little meaty problem going on. What's the problem?
To say the least, Bert and I have been together about 2 years, and it's gotten to a point where I am just at crisis level. I'm ready to, if I can't resolve this, just say goodbye.
Goodbye?
What's going on?
I have worked my butt off to get where I am.
Who?
A real estate agent, just finished my courses in January.
Because you're just starting out.
I'm starting out,
Okay.
and Bert has been behind me through that process. But this part of the job demands that I socialize. I got to go out, I got to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
I stood by you the whole time through this thing.
Bert has stood by me.
You stood by
Bert
you.
has stood by me. But when we go out, it always comes up. Bert talks about where he works. That's fine. He works at a slaughterhouse, blah, blah, blah. Instead of saying, okay, I work at a slaughterhouse, I'm a floor supervisor or something kind of polite, you know, and tasteful.
What's wrong with the slaughterhouse, though? What is wrong with working at a slaughterhouse? You tell me. What's wrong with that?
He makes jokes,
I'm practically what I am.
Talks about,
let's find out
remember
what
the time you made that joke
what
about,
does it matter about
gutting
jokes?
the roast?
My jokes, it
You
doesn't
took out
matter.
the knife
I'm
and you're,
practically what I am.
hammering at the roast.
Bert, question.
It's
Like, give me
distasteful.
Okay, give me an example. Let's say you're at a barbecue and I'm eating, let's say, ribs. Since I'm from North Carolina, I'm eating ribs. What would you say to me? Because obviously, whatever you're saying, she doesn't like. So give me an example.
Well, I just make a joke about the ribs, about where they came from, or just a little joke. It's only a joke.
I mean, like what? Like where they came from? Like they come from a pig, we know that.
Yeah.
But like, what would you say?
I would say, well, these ribs came from a pig, and all the people around here are pigs.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see why that doesn't
It's
go over
crude.
very
It's
well.
stupid. It's
so-
boorish. Bert
only
is
a
not
joke.
like this.
But it's only a joke, though.
Bert-
But it's not funny. See, that's
It's
the
not
problem with
funny.
a joke. If it's not funny,
You know, my peers squirm.
It's not a joke.
And they look at me. They blame me.
So I mean, does he
I
do
look
this?
like the fool.
Okay, but question, Shania, because there's one good thing you can do is like not bring him.
Well,
What do you
it's
mean not bring me?
It's
What do you mean not bring me?
expected. It's expected they say bring your
Which
partners.
word did you
Most people are
understand?
married
What?
and
What
they're
do you mean
bringing their
not bring me?
husbands. No,
But if he
that's
does
not
something-
the point. He
And
has to improve
who's
his
you gonna bring
behavior.
instead of me?
You know,
who you gonna bring instead of me? Who you gonna bring?
Bert has made jokes
Does he always
about
act like
boiling
this?
pig bottoms in large vats to get the meat off.
So?
You know, okay, I say joke, maybe it's not joke, but he talks about the process of butchering and, you know, people, they're eating filet mignon and stuff like this. I
Bert.
can't even, you know, sushi is out of the question.
Bert, do you understand that if she's in a professional environment, your jokes aren't appropriate and that they cause her discomfort?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's only a party. They get together. They think they're better than me.
But you're not, no. I think you think they're better than you, which is why,
they're not better than me, though.
decide
Thank
to
you.
do that.
No, they're not
I
better
mean,
than me.
think about the fact that you love her, you all live together. So
Yes.
isn't there some sort of compromise where you could just not make the jokes at the function?
No, it's just a joke.
Okay, but it's not funny. That's, you know, we're right back where we started.
It's not funny,
on the
yeah,
job,
but
on the job.
I was talking.
I haven't even
talking.
told Bert
I was
this.
talking.
Bert, I haven't even told you. I have been pulled off sales, okay?
Yeah.
I've been put on desk work. And nobody
And
knows
that's my
about
fault.
sales like
And that-
I know
and-
about
and that-
sales.
Okay, so you're in sales and they pulled you off. Why?
That's my
Because
fault. This is my fault. Are you
listen,
telling me that this is my
listen.
fault? Are you telling me?
Yes,
that
I am.
Bert.
I am.
I know why you work in a slaughterhouse. Do you not even need to use weapons? You just use your mouth? Gosh. Okay, so you got pulled off your job, but you think the reason was because you brought him?
Well, I think he has affected my image.
It's
And
Bert's fault. It's
I
Bert's
think
fault.
the
Bert's
reason is
image.
because if my manager is there.
What did your
No,
company say? Because
what you tell me is my fault.
Bert, gosh, you know, I would just drop dead if I was an animal. I mean, what does your company
That's
say?
his job.
What does your company say? What have they said in terms of this is why you're being
Nobody's
late?
going to say
I got
anything
his
out,
memo.
right? Nobody
I'm
says
taking
it.
I got a memo here.
What's that?
I got a memo.
Should I see this?
Yeah, I
Oh,
would.
there it
that?
is.
What's that, Bert?
This is from your company. It basically says
Where did
that.
you take that? Where did you get that?
Shania,
it.
Shania.
How could you
Listen,
find that
because
memo?
obviously you didn't bother to ask anybody about why you were being.
No, I never showed him any memo.
No, but here's my point. When you're saying the reason that you got pushed off of your original job in sales was because of him, which to me would be unacceptable from an employer. So he brings in the proof from your company, the memo, that says basically.
That's not proof. That is my private business.
What do you call it?
That should not be in front of you right now because that is my Bert.
This is
You're
Bert.
in front
I
of me
can't
right
believe
now.
you, Bert.
Shania,
You
I
have
wanted-
stooped to the lowest of the low.
No,
That is.
listen. The reason your company says that you were removed is because you weren't hitting the targets.
No,
Which
no,
makes
Does it
more
say anything
sense.
about her boyfriend? Does it say anything about her
this is-
boyfriend? It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't say anything about me in there. I told you.
What
Bert.
the company is going to say? Your boyfriend
Chill.
is a bore.
No, think about it. I mean, you have to take responsibility for two things. Number one, you're the one that brings them to the parties. It's your choice.
Yes,
Number two,
yes.
the fact that your company says you were not meeting their targets.
Listen, I'm going to challenge that memo.
Shania.
I'm not meeting the
Shania.
targets because of him.
No,
Because of me.
because
It
of
says
you.
right in the memo.
Yes, because I'm
Let
spending
me-
my time arguing with my
Oh,
partner,
okay.
spending my time
Okay.
fighting. You know, every time I come home, there's some big thing. You know, it's occupying my brain
Shania.
power. Okay, so maybe I'm sliding a bit. I don't even know.
Maybe.
I'm gonna challenge
Shania,
that letter.
Shania.
I don't even think on it.
Shania, let me give you a little news flash. In business, if you can sell and make the money, they don't care if your boyfriend kills pigs in front of them if you're selling houses. So my question comes before you open your mouth. My question to you is, how many houses did you sell last month?
0.
Okay.
It takes
Let's
more
go to
than a month to
resolution.
sell a house. It
Let's
takes
go.
more than a month.
Let's
And
go
I
to
have been-
resolution. I'm done.
I see. I told you.
It takes more than a month. Come on.
Blame will never allow you to improve. And in this case, Shania, you blame Bert for basically everything. You blamed him for his behavior, you blamed him for his jokes, you blamed him for the fact that you lost your job. The reality is, those were your choices. You made those choices. And when it comes to the job, it was based on your performance. That was the most important thing, all things that you can control. Bert, when I look at you, you know, you have to understand there's a time and place for everything. Everything has its time and its season. Your behavior was inappropriate, and I can understand her being upset about that. And even if you don't agree with her, out of respect to the relationship, you should have honored her request and curbed your performance. You know, blame is really the excuse that allows you to never improve. And in a relationship, it can be deadly. You know, when I look at this relationship, Shania, you fell short of the expectation of exceeding your own expectations because you were unwilling to take responsibility for everything. All you want to do is point the finger. And you did the same thing because you basically said, I'm going to do what I want no matter what, and I don't really care what you say. So both of you were at fault here. And when I look at the relationship and I look at the future of the relationship, what I have to say to you is that what you're doing is you're both slaughtering it. Both of you are slaughtering it from different angles. And what's going to happen if you both continue to play the blame game, point fingers, and forget that 4 of them are pointing back at you, when you look around and when it's all said and done, you're going to say, what's left? And you know what's going to be left? A carcass. You know what that is, don't you? Okay. Well, that's that, the final word.
Next, on singles court, Jonathan wanted Bethany to meet the family.
For no reason, and all of a sudden, she just gets out, freaks out, and leaves.
But she minded that idea big
I
time.
realized I wasn't ready for that. It was just too much.
What'd you do?
Too much too
She
soon.
wasn't, excuse me, you weren't ready for that? Why couldn't you bring that up before?
Well,
We could have
I
talked
tried,
about
but it
this.
just, you know.
All right, we're back with 2 more singles. Now, these people have a problem. And who better to deal with that than nationally syndicated relationship expert Angela Siegel? What do you think? Huh?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like
Okay,
it. I like
okay.
it. After that last story, I would normally say I'm never eating meat again, but you know I'm having filet mignon tonight. You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Just got to move on. Yeah. Well, I tell you, Angela, we have Jonathan and Bethany. Jonathan owns a sporting goods store, and Bethany is a graphic designer. Now, he took the bold step of asking her to come over and meet his parents. Now, there's no problem with this, it seemed, until they got there. And as soon as they were there, Bethany took off like a bat out of hell. She was gone. Now, Bethany says things are just moving a little too quickly, but Jonathan wants a real explanation. And I call this the case of the parent trap.
Well, Jonathan, I guess she kind of bit the dust on you, huh?
Yeah, I'd
What
say
happened?
so. I don't know. I thought everything was going great, you
Well,
know?
let's back up and then maybe we'll figure it out.
Okay, well, we've been seeing each other for about 2 months now, and it's just been wonderful. I mean, it's been so good. And I just thought it was time we get a little more serious. Maybe she should come and meet my parents. And she agreed. In fact, I think she was really interested in the idea.
Yeah, but I told him that I was nervous too.
No, you
I
didn't.
did. I was honest with you about that.
But Bethany, I mean, that's pretty. Most
Yeah.
people are
Well, yeah,
nervous.
yeah, of
Okay,
course,
so what's
yeah.
it mean?
Yeah, that's irrelevant. The point is, she never said anything that indicated what her reaction would be when we got there. We drove all the way there. She even baked a cake for the event. I thought she was
That's
excited.
a good thing. I like that you did that.
Yeah.
For bringing the cake. That's good.
Sure.
Cook,
you-
really, so.
That's good.
But then, as soon as we pull up into the driveway, for no reason, and all of a sudden, she just gets out, freaks out, and leaves. Walks out of the driveway. I don't even know how she got home. For no reason.
How did you get home?
You know, it.
What'd you do? Like run down the street? I mean, where'd you go?
No, I knew where I was. I'm sort of familiar with the neighborhood, but yeah, I just took a bus. I took a bus. It was just freaky. It just freaked me out. I saw the house, and it was like I had the cake.
She saw the house, and she saw some ugly lawn ornaments, and she thought that my parents were too tacky for her to meet. Is that it?
That's
true?
completely ridiculous. That has nothing to do with it. I was
But they
totally
do have
scared.
tacky lawn ornaments.
I hope they don't have the gnomes.
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember the
They
lawn
have a
ornaments.
gnome.
I remember the
Seven
house,
dwarfs.
and I.
They have a
They're
gnome.
suburban parents. I mean,
They
what do
don't
you
have-
expect?
Oh, it's not.
They don't have like a black man holding a lantern, do they?
No, no.
Because I would leave if that was the case. Okay, so
They're tacky now.
you leave because they
Yeah.
is that because they have tacky like things in New
No,
York?
that had nothing to do with it. I just got really scared. We were there, and it just suddenly dawned on me that this was a huge thing for him. And he talks about his parents, and they're really close. And it just
So my question
suddenly I
is,
just realized I wasn't ready for that. It was just too much.
What'd you do
too
with the
much
cake?
too
She
soon.
wasn't, excuse me, sorry, you weren't ready for that? Why couldn't you bring that up before?
Well,
we could
I
have talked
tried,
about
but it
this.
just, you know.
I mean, I'm trying to picture this. Wait a minute,
ridiculous.
listen. I'm trying to picture this. You're in the car. You're in the driveway. You have a cake in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
You run. Like, what'd you do with the cake? What'd you say to him?
I honestly don't remember. I have no recollection of what I did.
Well,
She
what
didn't say
happened?
much
With
of
the
anything.
cake.
She just got out and said, I can't do this, walked down the driveway and left.
Yeah.
I'm standing there trying to explain to my poor mother, who is up all night cooking, looking very forward to meeting you. She's standing in the driveway. She doesn't know what's going on. I have to make up some
You have
explanation.
a cake and
Okay,
an empty
okay.
car, right?
I'm stuck with the cake, yeah.
I'm hungry, can't you tell?
Which wasn't that good either.
I used to babysit Jonathan.
What?
JC, yeah, that's
So you wait a minute.
you know, this is so ridiculous.
Okay, wait a minute. I agree with you on one thing. It's ridiculous. But let's back up and try and figure out. You used to babysit him.
He was 10 and I was 15, and
So you
honest to
didn't know
God,
that?
this was a 10-year-old pervert. It was Oh my God, I totally had flashbacks. I saw the house. I remembered babysitting him. He used to call me Bethy. He'd pick boogers out of his nose and chase me around. I used to take him upstairs and he'd be feeling me up. He was so creepy. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I've been dating this guy for a month.
Bethy?
Oh my God.
You're Bethy?
Did you know that this was your babysitter? Chester?
No. What? I'm sorry. And besides, what you said was wrong, but it's starting to make sense. She was the most irresponsible babysitter I have ever seen.
That compares to being a 10-year-old pervert.
Well,
10-year-old pervert. I was just copying what I saw your
charge.
boyfriend doing.
Oh,
Yeah, she used to see this
boyfriend. He used
Wait
to
a minute,
talk about this.
I can't believe you were my babysitter.
Let's get some perspective on this, because obviously the two of you are like surprised. I'm surprised. Give me an idea. Okay, now you did not know she was your babysitter, but apparently the experience you two had between babysitter and babysittee was not a very good one. So how do you remember Bethy?
Well, it was a long time ago, but all I can recall is her putting me to bed early. I mean, she's supposed to be looking after me. Instead, she'd have her boyfriends over doing I don't know what.
I had to put him to bed early because he drove me so nuts, chasing me around the house.
So
You had to put me to bed early so you could raid the fridge and go
for
smoke
God's
in the
sake.
basement,
Oh, my-
which is why she got fired by my parents.
Let me give you a little news flash as you grow up. You know, you remember things as a 10-year-old. That doesn't mean that's how they were. You're an adult now. So that everything you're saying is that from a 10-year-old's perspective. You know, going to bed early when you're 10 is different than going to bed early when you're 17 and when you're 35, etc. Bethy, I don't understand your behavior in terms of acting like a, I don't know what, running. I mean, what is that about?
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna meet his parents. We get to the house, they're
You're
gonna
not
know
going
who
to
I
now.
am. Like,
Okay, so?
So, I mean, they did fire me. I mean, it would have been completely.
What, completely an
Embarrassing.
opportunity for you to say I've grown up and I know what I did wrong? Gee, why would I want to do that?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to meet his parents
You don't
now.
know
I don't
my
even want to be.
parents.
So you, let me make sure I understand you correctly. You liked him up until the
I
point
liked
when
him
you
up
knew
until
his
that point. Now I
parents
can't
were.
even look at him, but I see the 10-year-old brat that used to.
But think about whose loss is that? I mean, evidently you all had a relationship and it was going well. Now you know who his parents are. You know who he was. He knows who you were. Tell me why there can't be a now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Why were you fired? That it causes such a horrible, just a horrible idea that you can't even move on with your life. Why were you fired?
For smoking in the basement.
Okay. That's a good reason to fire a babysitter who's 17. Not a good reason not to have a relationship with somebody when you're 25. Now you know. So what are you going to do?
I don't
What are you
know.
going to do, Jonathan? Think about it, JC. What do you go by now?
Jonathan.
Okay, Jonathan. What are you going to do about it? I mean, you guys are supposed to be mature adults.
Yeah, well, it's a little complicated. I mean, the next logical step to me was for her to meet my parents. If she does now, she's going to give them a heart attack.
Why? Because they can't. Think about it. She was 17. She's 25.
Am I supposed to explain that to my parents?
You shouldn't have to if they're parents. You know, what do you want to do now? Besides run, because running is not the answer.
Yeah.
This is the part where you answer the question.
Yeah, I know. I came here thinking that we could resolve it. I came here thinking that, it could be worked out, but then I saw him and it just, I don't know. I don't know if I can get by that.
What, the opportunity to make amends for something that you did? I have to go to resolution. You guys are tripping. You can't run from your past. You know, Jonathan, Bethany stumped you here today, and you didn't know, and you found out something you didn't know. Well, now you know. It's possible that she's not the same 17-year-old because you're not the same 10-year-old. So, as you know, people grow up, they change. You just need to make sure that your mind remains open to that. You know, Bethany, you can't continue to run. At some point, you have to stop and say, okay, I need to realize that I've grown up, and some of the people that I've hurt, I need to go back and make amends to. People make mistakes. Everybody does. Teenagers make even more of them. That's why we get older. So it gives us an opportunity to take our experiences and turn them into better things. So you got caught smoking in the basement. That's not the best thing in the world for a teenager to do, but I'm sure his parents would be happy to know that you've grown into a responsible adult and would share in your successes and be glad to know that you made something good out of yourself. You just didn't give them a chance. You know, the past has a way of catching up to you, no matter how fast you run. In this situation, both of you have a past, and it's come together. And I think instead of looking at it as being a negative, you need to look at it as a positive. You're both adults now, so stop acting like children and realize that if you're going to have a mature relationship, then it needs to be a mature relationship. Part of that comes in the admission of the past, but it also comes in looking towards the future, because you never know. The hand that rocks the cradle could in fact be the hand that rocks your world. And that's that, the final word.
Well, that's it for another episode of Singles Court. You know, today's singles brought back a lot of memories. I remember my babysitter, we used to eat hot dogs together. You know what she used to call me, Angela?
I'm scared to ask you.
Boots. Because I used to wear these big rubber boots when I was a little kid, all around the house.
It's a family show.
I know, just the memories.
This is not a commercial for Find You.
Well, that's it for Singles Court, the final word for singles.